what is the appeal of nonsense? What is this curious new ecosystem that we appear to have created, or that has grown up around us, that offers attention and rewards to people spouting utter gibberish, utter bilge? And there's no point me talking to bilge mongers. All that does is increase their volume. You know, and I know what is gibberish and what is not gibberish, but you also know people who are falling for this stuff. Let's just turn first to, and with a great sense of reluctance, to the village of St. Michael's-on-Wyre, where Nicola Bulley, of course, disappeared 3 weeks ago. It'll be 2 or 3 days, I'm told, before there could be any confirmation of the identity of the body that's been found. But I think most people are fairly clear about who they think it is, up to and including all of the authorities. But if you were on TikTok, I don't know if you are, you'll see a clip of one of Nicola's friends appealing for her safe return. And then across the screen, the words crisis actor appear. So this is somebody suggesting on social media that Nicola Bulley's friend has been paid to act out a tragedy or a scenario. It's a phrase I first came across when Alex Jones, you remember him, was on that weird channel. I say weird channel, InfoWars. This is kind of the point I'm trying to drive home, is that what was once really weird and on the outer fringes of the internet, like InfoWars, just seems to be moving into the mainstream now. These kind of ideas, these kind of madnesses. That's the suggestion. Someone has added that. And then the way TikTok works, once you've watched one of those, if you've watched it to the end, then the algorithm will throw up lots more. Lots of videos speculating about this poor woman's disappearance. But then they widen out to include conspiracy theories, suggesting that the disappearance has been staged by the government. Now, you might laugh at that, but I'll tell you now, there are people who've appeared on Question Time who think that the vaccine program undertaken by the government was somehow invented in order to undertake population control. The idea that people are acting, of course, takes us back to the Sandy Hook massacre, as I mentioned. It's a BBC journalist called Mariana Spring who's done astonishing work in this field. And one of her more recent projects saw her tracking down victims of the Manchester Arena bombing to find out whether or not they were lying about their injuries. Now, you might not see the links between all of these stories, but I do. I think they all congregate under the idea of people being desperate to believe objectively ridiculous things. And it's the desperation to believe objectively ridiculous things that I want to talk about today, or rather that I want you to talk to me about. Everywhere you turned, apparently, in that village, there were people with their phones out. One bloke was offering psychic updates. I think he got banned from parts of social media. 270 million views under her hashtag on TikTok alone. Posts and videos using the same phrases on other major social media sites don't have the same traction. So that part of the conversation might be quite TikTok-y, although Instagram Reels have had more than 158 million views. And it seems that the weirder the stuff you post, the more popular it becomes. Now, to tie it back to the vaccine conversations that I've encountered online, the most interesting thread I've seen on that lately was just describing what the appeal is for the con men or the con artists, the fibbers, the exaggerators, the embellishers. If you're an ordinary academic, right, you get a couple of thousand maximum clicks, likes, retweets, whatever you want to call it, for your work. You know, and you feel, I think this is the impulse as well. This is the weird bit. Some people are very relaxed about that. It's like cheese, isn't it? It's like you like some, you don't like others. Some of us are built differently from us. Some people get off on online attention. I probably get off on it as well, but I'm not normal, am I? Because I've got this job and I've got 1 million followers on Twitter, so I don't have that. Wow, go! I did at first. Use myself as a lens to look at this story very quickly. When we first started going viral, it was mad. Everyone was so excited. People in this building were like, "Can you come and talk to us about how?" I said, "I don't know how we do it. I just get phoned up by people who don't know what they're talking about on Brexit, and then I hand them a sort of small piece of whatever it is, and they choke on it. I mean, it is. I've no idea, but it was amazing. The New York Times wrote about us. I don't know if you remember that. Literally wrote an article about the man who made radio go viral. So actually, I can't sit here and sneer at people who are, what's the word I'm looking for? Seduced by the attention, excited by it, except that everything we did was evidence-based. Everything we did was factual. Weirdly, everything we did was almost an antidote to the nonsense that had been swallowed with regard to Brexit. So it's a different story, but it's the same song. I got off on the attention. I found it really exciting. So if I'm a moderate academic or a failed broadcaster or a struggling actor or I don't know, someone flogging snake oil on the internet, and I'm getting 2,000 or 3,000 on my clicks, and then suddenly I get 20,000, and then I get 50, so I do another one, and it's 100,000, and now I'm going to go and protest about 15-minute cities because I'm running out of mileage on my vaccine lies. I get that. I understand the appeal for the liars. And probably quite a lot of the time they don't even realise that they're liars. But 03456060973 will be the number you need in a moment. But it's the desperation to believe the nonsense that I want you to talk to me about today. And whether we're looking at the ghouls and freaks who circled Nicola Bulley's disappearance, whether we're looking at these weird protests in Oxford at the weekend against plans to maximise the number of people who have all the amenities they could possibly desire within a 15-minute walk of their own front door. We can bring a little bit of vaccine into it if you want. But why? No, it's not why are people spreading this nonsense or why are people telling these lies. Why do you think, and you can do this possibly from the position of somebody who has recovered or somebody who cares for someone who's down these rabbit holes, what explains this growing desperation to believe ridiculous things? Whether it is the idea that Nicola Bulley's friends were being paid to pretend that she disappeared as some government psyop, or whether it's the idea that vaccines are deliberately designed to actually endanger us and damage us, or whether it's the notion that there's a sort of World Economic Forum master plan to render us all, I don't even know what it's supposed to render us all, but the secret weapon is civic policy designed to maximise the number of people who've got all the amenities they need within a 15-minute walk of their front door. So there's the question. And there's another story as well, which a few of you were pointing out to me, and I did see this, but I turned the page quite quickly. Someone on social media claiming to be Madeleine McCann and harvesting astonishing amounts of attention and clicks as a result of that. So I think we can work out the appeal of being one of the ringleaders, right? But why would you buy a ticket for the circus? 0345 6060973. Why do you think people are increasingly keen to believe ridiculous things? What's happening to us? Not happened past tense, happening present tense. What is happening to us? Because you may, like me, rise above all this stuff and look down on it with a sense of wonder and disbelief, but we're all part of it. And you've got some sort of mysterious plutocrats setting up media organisations that are moving this stuff away from the outer reaches of the internet into the sort of quasi-mainstream. What's happening to us? What explains the desire to believe ridiculous things, particularly things about secret overlords trying to control us, which takes us right back to the worst sorts of anti-Semitism and the protocols of the Elders of Zion, secret secret organizations that are seeking to control us for their own bet. Where does the desire to believe it come from?